Captain Vexatal received Dr. Keth Moore's final transmission from the planet's surface with growing alarm. The message had been brief and cryptic, mentioning important discoveries that required immediate discussion, followed by complete communication. Silence. Standard protocol demanded that he maintain regular contact with landing parties, and the sudden blackout suggested serious problems. The stellar wind's sensors detected unusual energy signatures emanating from the planet's surface around the time of the lost transmission. The readings indicated the activation of powerful jamming systems and what appeared to be defensive weapons targeting orbital positions. Captain Vextal realized that his ship and crew were potentially in danger. Jake Morrison's voice, suddenly, filled the bridge through the communication system, speaking in perfect Zephyrian and addressing Captain Vextal by name and rank. His knowledge of ship personnel and protocols was impossible for a simple colonial administrator, and his confident tone suggested that he was now in complete control of the situation. Jake explained that Dr. Kethamore's team was safe, but would not be returning to the stellar wind. He revealed that the humans had been monitoring all Zephyrian communications since the ship entered their system and possessed complete knowledge of their mission parameters and crew capabilities. The friendly farming colony had been an elaborate deception designed to gather intelligence about Zephyrian intentions. Captain Vextal attempted to raise his ship's defensive systems and prepare for immediate departure, but his crew reported that multiple critical systems were experiencing simultaneous failures. The navigation computer, communication array, and weapon systems had been disabled by some form of electronic interference that bypassed all their security protocols. Lisa Turner materialized on the bridge through what appeared to be an advanced teleportation system, confirming Captain Vextal's worst fears about human technological capabilities. Her calm presence in the middle of his secured command center demonstrated that the humans possessed technology far beyond anything in Confederation databases. Lisa's appearance had changed subtly since their first meeting on the planet's surface. Her eyes now glowed with an inner light that suggested cybernetic enhancement, and her movements displayed inhuman grace and precision. She explained that she and many other colonists were human-alien hybrids, created through centuries of genetic research and modification. The revelation of human-alien hybrid technology shocked Captain Vextal more than any weapon demonstration could have. Lisa possessed enhanced strength, speed, and intelligence that resulted from combining human genetics with traits borrowed from dozens of alien species. The hybridization program had been ongoing for generations and had produced humans with capabilities that exceeded their original creators. Lisa showed Captain Vexatal holographic displays revealing the true scope of the human operation throughout the galaxy. The network of hidden colonies extended across hundreds of star systems, with each settlement contributing specialized research and intelligence gathering. The coordination between colonies had allowed them to achieve technological advances that would have been impossible for any single world. Dr. Amy Rodriguez appeared on the bridge through another teleportation event and began explaining the scientific principles behind their hybrid technology. She revealed that the ancient alien artifacts had contained genetic templates and biotechnology that allowed the humans to modify themselves at the cellular level. The enhancement process had taken generations to perfect, but had produced humans who were superior to any known species. The demonstration of human capabilities continued as Pete Sullivan arrived with examples of their advanced weaponry. The devices he carried were small enough to be concealed easily, but possessed destructive power that exceeded Zephyrian ship-mounted weapons. He explained that every human colony was armed with weapons that could destroy entire fleets if necessary. Captain Vextal demanded to know what the humans intended to do with the Stellar Wind and its crew. Jake Morrison appeared on the bridge and explained that the ship represented a valuable source of intelligence about Zephyrian technology and military capabilities. The crew would be given the same choice as Dr. Kethmore's team about joining the human network or remaining as permanent guests. The scope of human infiltration became clear as Jake revealed that they had agents throughout the Zephyrian Confederation and other major galactic governments. Human operatives had been influencing policy decisions, gathering intelligence, and preparing for the eventual emergence of humanity as the dominant galactic power. Lisa Turner showed Captain Vextal recordings of human operations that had been conducted throughout Zephyrian space over the past decades. Missing ships, stolen technology, and unexplained incidents were revealed to be part of a systematic campaign to gather intelligence and test alien defensive capabilities. Amy Rodriguez demonstrated the human's ability to perfectly replicate Zephyrian technology and improve upon its basic design principles. She showed him devices that appeared identical to Confederation equipment, but possessed enhanced capabilities that made them superior to the original versions. The revelation that horrified Captain Vextal most was learning that the humans had been preparing for galactic conquest rather than peaceful coexistence. Pete Sullivan showed him strategic plans for the systematic takeover of major alien civilizations using superior technology and comprehensive intelligence about their weaknesses. Jake Morrison explained that humanity's expansion into the galaxy was inevitable and had been planned for centuries. The Hidden Colony Network had been gathering the resources and knowledge necessary to ensure human dominance over all other species. Their technological superiority and strategic advantages made resistance futile. The humans revealed that they had been manipulating galactic events for generations to prepare for their emergence. Wars between alien species, technological developments, and political changes had been influenced by human agents working behind the scenes to create conditions favorable for human expansion. Captain Vextal realized that the discovery of the human colony was not an accident but a carefully orchestrated revelation. The humans had chosen to make themselves known to the Zephyrian Confederation because their intelligence indicated that the time was right to begin the next phase of their expansion plans. Lisa Turner offered Captain Vextal the opportunity to witness the true extent of human capabilities by showing him their primary command center on the planet's surface. The facility coordinated operations across hundreds of colony worlds and possessed real-time intelligence about every major civilization in the galaxy. The command center revealed that the humans had been monitoring and influencing galactic events on a scale that exceeded the capabilities of any known government or organization. Their network had become the most powerful force in the galaxy while remaining completely hidden from official detection. Dr. Amy Rodriguez made the final revelation that changed Captain Vextal's understanding of the entire situation. The Human Colony Network was preparing to reveal itself to the galaxy and establish humanity as the dominant species. The Zephyrian Confederation would be offered the choice of becoming junior partners in the new galactic order or facing the consequences of resistance. Jake Morrison explained that the age of alien dominance in the galaxy was ending and the age of human supremacy was beginning. The centuries of preparation were complete, and humanity was ready to claim its rightful place as the rulers of known space. The choice offered to Captain Vextal and his crew was the same as that given to Dr. Kethmore's team. They could join the human network and benefit from association with the new galactic power, or they could remain as guests while humanity reshaped the galaxy according to their vision. As Captain Vextall struggled to process the implications of what he had learned, Lisa Turner made one final statement that summarized the new reality. The secret that should have remained hidden was now revealed, and the galaxy would never be the same. Humanity had emerged from the shadows, and their dominance was no longer a question of if, but when. Dr. Kethmore stared at Jake Morrison in disbelief as the implications of his words sank in. The friendly colonial administrator had just revealed that he and his team were essentially prisoners, though Jake's calm manner suggested this was simply a practical necessity rather than a hostile act. The transformation from welcoming hosts to captors had happened so smoothly that Dr. Kethmore wondered how long the humans had been planning this moment. Amy Rodriguez stepped forward and explained that the decision was not made lightly, but the security of their operation could not be compromised. She assured them that they would be treated well and could contribute valuable research to the colony's ongoing projects. Her tone was reasonable and professional, as if she were offering them a career opportunity rather than imprisonment. Jake. Morrison led them to a secure conference room deeper in the underground complex where the full scope of the human operation was finally revealed. The walls displayed star charts showing the locations of other hidden human colonies throughout the galaxy, communication networks linking the settlements, and intelligence reports on dozens of alien civilizations. Chris Hamilton began a detailed presentation that traced the true history of the New Horizon colony from its arrival on this world 4 centuries ago. The original colonists had indeed crash-landed, but their discovery of the ancient battleground had changed everything. The wreckage contained technology from civilizations that had existed millions of years ago and possessed capabilities far beyond anything in the current galaxy. The early colonists had made a crucial decision that shaped the next 4 centuries of human development. Instead of attempting to return to Earth or contact human authorities, they had chosen to study the ancient technology and prepare humanity for eventual galactic expansion. They had realized that knowledge of this discovery would make them targets for every advanced civilization in the galaxy. Amy Rodriguez showed them detailed records of the colony's technological development over the generations. The humans had not simply copied the ancient alien technology, but had learned to understand its underlying principles and improve upon the original designs. Their research had eventually produced hybrid systems that exceeded the capabilities of both the ancient artifacts and modern alien technology. The scope of their achievement became clear as Chris Hamilton revealed the network of research colonies that had been established throughout the galaxy. Each settlement maintained the cover of a primitive human outpost while conducting advanced research and intelligence gathering. The colonies shared information and resources through encrypted communication networks that had evaded detection by all galactic powers. Dr. Kethmore learned that the humans had been systematically infiltrating alien civilizations for over 2 centuries. Human agents had assumed false identities, joined alien organizations, and gained access to classified information across dozens of species. The intelligence network they had built was more comprehensive than anything achieved by major galactic governments. Jake Morrison revealed his true identity as a military commander rather than a simple colonial administrator. He had been trained from childhood for leadership and strategic planning, as had most of the colony's population. The friendly farmers and craftsmen Dr. Kethmore had met were actually highly educated specialists in various fields of research and intelligence. The demonstration of human capabilities began with Pete Sullivan, who was introduced as their weapons. specialist. Pete showed them devices that the humans had developed by combining ancient alien technology with their own innovations. The weapons were compact, powerful, and possessed capabilities that Dr. Kethmore had never seen in any Confederation arsenal. Pete explained that the humans had been studying Zephyrian military technology for decades and had developed countermeasures for every weapon and defense system in their inventory. He demonstrated a handheld device that could disable Zephyrian energy shields and another that could penetrate their armor with minimal energy expenditure. Amy Rodriguez showed them the colony's manufacturing capabilities, which could produce advanced technology at a rate that exceeded most industrial worlds. The humans had automated much of their production using principles learned from the ancient artifacts, allowing a small population to maintain technological superiority over much larger civilizations. The intelligence operation was revealed to be even more extensive than Dr. Kethmore had imagined. Chris Hamilton showed them real-time surveillance data from Zephyrian military installations, government facilities, and research centers. The humans had been monitoring Confederation activities so thoroughly that they knew about classified projects and strategic plans before many Zephyrian officials. Jake Morrison explained that the colony had been tracking the stellar wind since it left Zephyrian space and had known about its mission parameters before Captain Vextal received his orders. The humans had chosen to reveal themselves because they had determined that the Zephyrian Confederation posed no immediate threat to their operations. The revelation that shocked Dr. Kethmore most was learning about the extent of human technological advancement. Amy Rodriguez showed him research projects that were decades ahead of anything being developed by major galactic civilizations. The humans had been preparing for galactic expansion, while other species remained unaware of their true capabilities. Pete Sullivan demonstrated weapon systems that could defeat the defensive capabilities of any known alien warship. The humans had studied the military technology of every major galactic power and had developed superior alternatives using their hybrid ancient modern technology. Their small colony possessed more effective military capability than most planetary governments. The humans revealed that they had been conducting secret operations throughout the galaxy for generations. Jake Morrison showed them records of missions that had retrieved technology, gathered intelligence, and eliminated threats to their network. The operations had been so carefully planned and executed that no alien government had detected the pattern. Dr. Kethmore learned that several unexplained incidents in Zephyrian space over the past decades had actually been human operations. Missing research vessels, stolen technology, and intelligence breaches that had been attributed to accidents or unknown threats were revealed to be the work of human agents. Amy Rodriguez explained that the humans had been preparing for the inevitable moment when their presence would be discovered by a major galactic power. They had developed contingency plans for every possible scenario, including the option of revealing themselves when they judged the time was right. The colony leaders had decided that the Zephyrian Confederation represented the best opportunity for controlled first contact. Their intelligence indicated that the Zephyrians were peaceful, but militarily capable, making them ideal partners or test subjects for the next phase of human expansion. Jake Morrison made it clear that Dr. Kethmore and his team were witnesses to the most significant intelligence breakthrough in galactic history. The humans had achieved technological and strategic superiority over all known civilizations while remaining completely hidden. Their network of colonies represented a shadow power that had been influencing galactic events for centuries. The choice offered to the Zephyrian team was simple but irrevocable. They could join the Human Research Network and contribute their knowledge to preparing for humanity's emergence as a galactic power. Alternatively, they could remain as permanent guests of the colony, comfortable but unable to leave or communicate with the outside galaxy. Chris Hamilton emphasized that this was not a hostile takeover, but a practical necessity. The humans had invested too much time and effort building their network to allow it to be compromised by premature disclosure. The Zephyrian team had stumbled upon the greatest secret in galactic history, and that knowledge came with unavoidable responsibilities. Dr. Kethamore realized that he was facing a decision that would determine not only his own fate, but potentially the future of the Zephyrian Confederation. The humans had revealed their capabilities as a demonstration of power, showing that resistance would be futile, while cooperation could be beneficial. As the presentation concluded, Jake Morrison made one final revelation that changed Dr. Kethamore's understanding of the entire situation. The decision about the Zephyrian team's fate had already been made by higher authorities in the human network, and their conversation was simply an opportunity to explain the reasoning behind actions that were already in motion. Dr. Kethamore spent the night analyzing the data his team had gathered during their underground tour and comparing it with the orbital scans from the stellar wind. The energy signatures and structural readings indicated that the facility extended much deeper than Lisa Turner had shown them. The restricted areas she had mentioned were clearly the most important parts of the complex. Jake Morrison arrived early the next morning with a different proposal for the day's activities. Instead of another surface tour, he offered to show them the colony's historical archives and some of the technological achievements their ancestors had developed over the centuries. His manner was more serious than the previous days, and Dr. Kethamore sensed that important revelations were coming. Lisa Turner joined them along with two other humans Dr. Kethamore had not met before. Amy Rodriguez was introduced as their chief scientist and researcher, while Chris Hamilton was described as their historian and cultural specialist. Both displayed the same confident intelligence that had impressed him about other colony leaders. Amy Rodriguez immediately captured Dr. Kethamore's attention with her detailed knowledge of Zephyrian science and technology. She asked sophisticated questions about their research methods and made observations that demonstrated understanding of advanced physics and engineering principles. Her expertise seemed far beyond what any isolated colony should possess. Chris Hamilton proved equally remarkable with his comprehensive knowledge of galactic history and politics. He discussed events and civilizations spanning thousands of years with the accuracy of a professional historian. His information included details about species and conflicts that were not widely known even within the Confederation. The group descended to a much deeper level of the underground complex than Dr. Kethamore had seen the previous day. The security measures were more extensive, requiring multiple authorization checks and biometric scans. The facility at this level was clearly the true heart of the colony's operations. Amy Rodriguez led them into a vast laboratory complex that took Dr. Kethamore's breath away. The research facilities were more advanced than anything on most Confederation worlds, equipped with instruments and computers that represented cutting-edge technology. Human scientists and engineers worked at stations throughout the complex on projects that appeared both sophisticated and mysterious. The first revelation came when Amy showed them a collection of alien artifacts and technology samples arranged in organized displays. The items represented dozens of different species and civilizations, including several that Dr. Kethamore recognized from Confederation records. Some of the artifacts were from species that were known to be extremely secretive about their technology. Chris Hamilton explained that these items had been collected over the centuries from various sources, including crashed vessels, abandoned outposts, and what he carefully described as salvage operations. The colony had been systematically studying and reverse engineering the technology to improve their own capabilities and understanding. Dr. Kethmore was shocked to see Zephyrian equipment among the artifacts, including components from military, vessels, and research stations. When he demanded an explanation, Jake Morrison admitted that they had encountered Zephyrian expeditions in the past and had obtained samples through various means. He assured them that no harm had come to any Zephyrian personnel. Amy Rodriguez guided them to another section where human engineers were working on modified versions of alien technology. The devices combined elements from multiple species into hybrid systems that appeared more capable than their original designs. The level of understanding required for such integration suggested centuries of dedicated research and experimentation. The most disturbing discovery was a comprehensive database containing detailed intelligence files on dozens of alien civilizations. The information included military capabilities, technological specifications, political structures, and strategic weaknesses. The data was more complete and current than anything in Confederation intelligence archives. Chris Hamilton explained that the colony had been systematically gathering information about galactic civilizations for strategic purposes. He claimed that their isolated position made them vulnerable to any hostile species that might discover them, so they needed comprehensive intelligence to protect themselves. Dr. Kethmore realized that the humans had been deceiving him about the nature of their colony from the beginning. This was not a simple farming settlement that had developed advanced capabilities through necessity. It was a sophisticated intelligence and research operation that had been studying alien civilizations for centuries. Amy Rodriguez seemed to sense his shock and offered a more complete explanation of their true situation. She revealed that the original colonists had not simply crash-landed on this world, but had discovered something that changed their entire mission and purpose. The planet contained the remains of an ancient battleground where multiple alien civilizations had fought and died. The wreckage from this prehistoric conflict provided the humans with access to technology from species that were far more advanced than anything in the current galaxy. The colonists had spent generations studying these artifacts and learning to understand and reproduce the technology. Their research had eventually exceeded the original capabilities of most alien civilizations. Chris Hamilton showed them historical records documenting the colony's gradual transformation from desperate survivors to advanced researchers. The early colonists had realized that their discovery gave them a unique opportunity to prepare humanity for eventual contact with alien civilizations. They had deliberately maintained the appearance of a primitive settlement while secretly developing advanced capabilities. The scope of their deception became clear as Amy Rodriguez revealed that New Haven was not the only human colony engaged in this research. She showed them communication logs indicating regular contact with other hidden human settlements throughout the galaxy, all coordinating their research efforts and sharing discoveries. Dr. Kethmore learned that the humans had been tracking Zephyrian fleet movements and activities for decades through a network of hidden observation posts and intelligence assets. They possessed detailed knowledge of Confederation military capabilities, political structures, and strategic plans that should have been impossible for any outside civilization to obtain. Jake Morrison finally admitted that their decision to reveal themselves to the Zephyrian expedition was not accidental. The humans had been monitoring the stellar wind since it entered their system and had carefully planned the entire first contact scenario. They had chosen to make themselves known because they believed the time was right for the next phase of their long-term strategy. The revelations continued as Amy Rodriguez showed them weapons and defensive systems that the colony had developed using their hybrid alien technology. The devices were clearly superior to standard Confederation equipment and represented a level of advancement that could shift the balance of power in any conflict. Dr. Kethmore demanded to know what the humans intended to do with their advanced capabilities and comprehensive intelligence about alien civilizations. Jake Morrison explained that they were preparing for humanity's eventual expansion into the galaxy, ensuring that humans would be able to defend themselves and compete with any species they encountered. The tour concluded with a visit to the colony's command center, where human operators monitored communications and activities throughout their sector of the galaxy. The facility demonstrated capabilities that rivaled the most advanced intelligence operations of major galactic powers. As they returned to the surface, Dr. Kethmore struggled to process the implications of what he had learned. The humans had been conducting the most successful intelligence and research operation in galactic history while maintaining the perfect cover of a primitive lost colony. Their true capabilities and intentions remained largely unknown, but their potential threat to existing galactic powers was clear. That evening, Jake Morrison made a final revelation that changed everything Dr. Kethmore thought he understood about the situation. The colony leaders had decided that the Zephyrian team had seen too much to be allowed to leave and report their discoveries. They would need to make a choice about their future that would determine whether they returned to their ship or remained permanently as guests of New Haven Colony. Dr. Kethmore woke before dawn in the comfortable quarters the humans had provided and immediately began reviewing the overnight sensor data from their shuttle. The readings confirmed his suspicions from the previous day about extensive underground structures beneath New Haven Colony. The energy patterns suggested active technology far more advanced than anything he had seen on the surface. Lisa Turner arrived early with a breakfast tray and seemed genuinely interested in Zephyrian dietary preferences. She had prepared foods that perfectly matched their nutritional requirements and even included seasoning blends that complemented their taste receptors. Dr. Kethmore found it remarkable that an isolated colony would have such detailed knowledge of alien biology. During breakfast, Lisa casually mentioned various aspects of Zephyrian culture and history that impressed the science team. She knew about their homeworld's triple moon system, their traditional coming-of-age ceremonies, and even recent political developments in the Confederation. When asked about the source of this knowledge, she explained that their colony maintained extensive databases about galactic civilizations. Jake Morrison joined them for the morning tour and seemed eager to show off their agricultural achievements. He led them through extensive farming areas where the colonists grew both earth crops and native plants they had domesticated over the centuries. The agricultural techniques were sophisticated and showed clear signs of scientific planning and genetic modification. Dr. Kethmore noticed that many of the humans they encountered displayed unusual physical capabilities during routine activities. Workers moved heavy equipment with surprising ease, and farmers performed tasks that should have required mechanical assistance. When he mentioned this observation, Jake explained that generations of adaptation to the planet's environment had made his people stronger and more resilient than their ancestors. The tour continued to the colony's workshops and manufacturing, areas where human craftsmen produced tools, equipment, and art objects. Dr. Kethmore was surprised to see precision metalworking and electronic assembly that rivaled Zephyrian standards. The humans claimed they had developed these skills through necessity and centuries of practice. Lisa Turner introduced them to Ben Carter, the colony's security chief, during their visit to the defensive installations around New Haven. Ben was a tall, muscular man with alert eyes and a military bearing that seemed out of place in a peaceful farming community. His security teams were well equipped with weapons and communication devices that appeared more advanced than typical colonial equipment. Ben explained that the colony maintained defensive capabilities due to dangerous native wildlife and occasional natural disasters. However, Dr. Kethmore observed that the weapons and fortifications were designed more for repelling an organized attack than dealing with animal threats. The positioning and construction of defensive structures suggested military engineering knowledge. During lunch, Dr. Kethmore finally asked directly about the underground facilities detected by their orbital scans. Jake Morrison and Lisa Turner exchanged a brief glance before Jake admitted that the colony had extensive underground storage and manufacturing areas. He claimed these were necessary for protection against the planet's severe weather seasons and to preserve their technological heritage. Lisa offered to show them the upper levels of the underground complex after lunch, explaining that the deeper areas contained sensitive historical artifacts and were restricted for safety reasons. Dr. Kethmore accepted the offer while privately noting the careful way she phrased the explanation. The entrance to the underground facility was hidden beneath what appeared to be a simple storage building. Lisa used a complex security system to unlock multiple barriers, including biometric scanners and authorization codes that seemed far more sophisticated than necessary for protecting farming equipment. The underground corridors were clean, well lit, and clearly designed for regular use rather than emergency storage. Dr. Kethmore noticed advanced ventilation systems, computer terminals, and communication networks throughout the complex. The construction quality and technological integration exceeded anything he had seen in the surface settlement. Lisa guided them through laboratories and workshops where human scientists and engineers worked on various projects. The equipment included advanced computers, precision manufacturing tools, and research instruments that matched or exceeded Zephyrian standards. When asked about the origin of this technology, Lisa explained that their ancestors had salvaged and rebuilt equipment from their colony ship over many generations. In one laboratory, Dr. Kethmore observed humans analyzing samples of various materials and substances. The research appeared to focus on metallurgy, electronics, and what looked like weapons development. Lisa quickly moved them past this area, explaining that it was part of their ongoing efforts to improve their defensive capabilities. The most disturbing discovery came when Dr. Kethmore noticed data files on computer terminals that contained detailed information about Zephyrian technology, ship designs, and military capabilities. The files included technical specifications that were classified within the Confederation and should not have been available to any outside civilization. When confronted about this information, Jake Morrison appeared uncomfortable but explained that their ancestors had encountered other species over the centuries and maintained records of those contacts. He claimed the technical data came from peaceful exchanges and trade relationships with various alien visitors. Dr. Kethmore realized that the situation was far more complex than a simple lost colony. The humans possessed knowledge and capabilities that suggested extensive contact with multiple alien civilizations. Their apparent isolation was either a recent development or a carefully maintained deception. Lisa Turner seemed to sense his growing suspicion and began steering the tour away from the more sensitive areas of the complex. She explained that much of the deeper facility was used for historical preservation and contained artifacts that were too fragile for casual viewing. As they returned to the surface, Dr. Kethmore noticed additional security measures that had not been apparent during their descent. Hidden cameras, Automated defensive systems and armed guards were positioned throughout the complex. The level of security was appropriate for a military installation rather than a peaceful colony. That evening, Jake Morrison hosted a dinner for the Zephyrian team that included many of the colony's leaders and specialists. Dr. Kethmore was impressed by the sophisticated conversation and broad knowledge displayed by the humans. They discussed galactic politics, scientific discoveries, and cultural developments with the familiarity of people who had regular contact with the outside universe. During the dinner, several humans made casual references to other alien species and recent events in distant star systems. When questioned about their sources of information, they explained that they maintained communication networks and received regular updates from other human colonies and trading partners. Dr. Kethmore began to suspect that New Haven Colony was not the isolated settlement it appeared to be. The humans possessed too much current information and too many advanced capabilities for their supposed circumstances. Their explanations were plausible, but didn't fully account for everything he had observed. As the evening concluded, Jake Morrison announced that they would be honored to provide a more comprehensive tour of their facilities the following day. He promised to show them historical artifacts and technological achievements that demonstrated their colony's remarkable development over 4 centuries of isolation. Dr. Kethmore accepted the invitation while privately planning to conduct more detailed scans and investigations. He suspected that the humans were hiding the true nature of their colony and its capabilities. The question was whether this deception represented a threat to galactic security or simply a defensive measure by a vulnerable human settlement. Captain Vexitol stood on the bridge of the Zephyrian exploration vessel Stellar Wind and watched the unknown star system grow larger on the main display screen. His 4 arms moved across the control panels with practiced ease while his large, dark eyes studied the sensor readings. The mission had been routine until now, mapping empty space in the outer rim territories where no civilization should exist. The first officer Colvin approached with data tablets in his clawed hands and spoke in their clicking language about anomalous readings from the 3rd planet. Vextol turned his elongated head toward the tactical display and saw what had caught his crew's attention. Energy signatures pulsed from the planet's surface in patterns that suggested technology and organized settlements. Dr. Kethmore emerged from the science bay carrying additional scanning equipment. The xenobiologist's excitement was clear in the way his skin changed from blue to purple, a natural response among their species when discovering something new. He announced that preliminary scans indicated not just technology, but actual life forms on the planet below. Vextal ordered a closer approach while maintaining standard first contact protocols. The Zephyrian Confederation had encountered dozens of species over the centuries, and each discovery required careful documentation and peaceful interaction. The ship moved into high orbit around the blue and green world that reminded him of the descriptions of ancient Earth from their historical databases. The detailed scans revealed something impossible. Dr. Kethamore's voice cracked with disbelief as he reported detecting human settlements scattered across the planet's northern continent. Humans were supposed to be confined to their home system and a few nearby colonies, all accounted for in the Galactic Registry. No human presence should exist in this remote sector. The bridge crew exchanged worried glances as they processed this information. Vextal had studied human history during his academy training and knew about their tendency toward expansion and exploration. However, this region had been surveyed by Zephyrian scouts only 50 years ago and showed no signs of habitation. Dr. Kethmore continued his analysis and discovered that the human settlements appeared primitive by galactic standards. He detected simple structures made of local materials, basic power generation systems, and agricultural areas that suggested a farming community. The population seemed small, perhaps a few thousand individuals spread across several villages. What puzzled the science team was the presence of energy signatures that didn't match the apparent technological level of the surface settlements. Deep underground scans revealed large metallic structures and power sources that generated readings far more advanced than anything visible on the surface. Vestal made the decision to establish communication with the humans below. The standard translation protocols were activated, and the ship began broadcasting peaceful greetings in multiple human languages. The response came faster than expected, and in perfect Zephyrian, which surprised everyone on the bridge. A human voice identified himself as Jake Morrison, administrator of New Haven Colony. He welcomed the Zephyrian visitors and expressed gratitude for peaceful contact. His calm demeanor and knowledge of proper diplomatic protocols seemed unusual for someone from an isolated farming community. During the initial conversation, Jake explained that his people were descendants of the lost Earth colony ship New Horizon, which had disappeared over 400 years ago. According to his account, their ancestors had crash-landed on this world and built a new life from the wreckage of their vessel. Dr. Kethmore requested permission to send a landing party for scientific and cultural exchange. Jake readily agreed and provided coordinates for a landing site near their main settlement. He mentioned that one of their engineers, Lisa Turner, would serve as their primary liaison with the Zephyrian team. As the Stellar Wind prepared for the landing mission, Vestal reviewed what little information existed about the lost colony ship. The New Horizon had been an early human deep space exploration vessel that vanished during humanity's first attempts at interstellar colonization. The ship and its 3,000 passengers had been presumed lost to space hazards or equipment failure. The landing party consisted of Dr. Kethmore, 2 junior scientists, a cultural specialist, and a security officer. They used a standard shuttle, equipped with translation devices and cultural exchange materials. As they descended through the planet's atmosphere, they observed the settlements from above and noted their organized layout and efficient use of available resources. The landing site was a cleared area near the largest settlement, which the humans called New Haven. Several dozen humans waited to greet them, led by a middle-aged man with graying hair who introduced himself as Jake Morrison. Standing beside him was a younger woman with dark hair and intelligent eyes who must be Lisa Turner, their promised liaison. Dr. Kethmore was struck by how prepared the humans seemed for their arrival. They had arranged temporary shelters for the Zephyrian visitors and prepared a schedule of meetings and tours. Lisa Turner demonstrated remarkable knowledge of Zephyrian physiology and dietary requirements, suggesting she had studied their species extensively. During the initial tour of New Haven, the Zephyrian team observed clean streets, well-maintained buildings, and humans engaged in various crafts and occupations. The settlement appeared prosperous despite its supposedly isolated history. The humans they met were friendly and curious about their visitors, but also seemed remarkably calm about first contact with an alien species. Lisa Turner explained their history as they walked through the settlement. She told them about their ancestors' struggles to survive on an alien world and how they had gradually built their civilization from salvaged ship components and local materials. Her account matched Jake Morrison's earlier explanation, but Dr. Kethmore noticed subtle inconsistencies in the timeline and technological development. The most striking observation was the humans' apparent familiarity with advanced concepts and technologies. During casual conversations, several colonists made references to space travel, alien cultures, and galactic politics that seemed beyond what an isolated colony should know. When questioned about this knowledge, they explained it came from their ancestors' databases and historical records. As evening approached, Jake Morrison invited the Zephyrian team to stay overnight and continue their cultural exchange the following day. He arranged comfortable accommodations and promised to show them more of their settlement and surrounding areas. Dr. Kethmore accepted the invitation while secretly planning to conduct more detailed scans of the mysterious underground installations. That night, as the Zephyrian team reviewed their findings, Dr. Kethmore shared his growing suspicions with his colleagues. The humans were clearly more advanced and knowledgeable than they appeared, and their explanations didn't fully account for what the orbital scans had detected. The energy signatures from underground suggested technology that far exceeded anything a crashed colony ship could provide. The security officer reported observing well-armed human patrols during the evening and noted that their weapons appeared more sophisticated than the simple tools and equipment visible in the settlement. Lisa Turner had also displayed knowledge of Zephyrian technology and physiology that seemed impossible for someone from an isolated human colony. Dr. Kethmore decided to request a tour of the underground facilities the next day. If the humans were hiding advanced technology, he needed to understand its origin and purpose. The discovery of a lost human colony was significant enough, but finding advanced human technology in an unexplored sector could have serious implications for galactic security and politics. As he prepared for sleep, Dr. Kethmore wondered what other secrets New Haven Colony might be hiding beneath its peaceful farming community facade.